Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most shocking moments in live television history. Imagine tuning into your favorite morning show, sipping your coffee, expecting light-hearted banter and celebrity glamour, only to witness a Hollywood titan unleash a verbal storm that leaves everyone speechless. That's exactly what happened on October 5, 2025, when Samuel L. Jackson, the iconic actor known for his commanding presence in films like Pulp Fiction and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, appeared on Good Morning America to promote his latest blockbuster, a high-octane action thriller titled Shadow Strike. Hosted by the charismatic Michael Strahan, a former NFL star turned beloved TV personality, alongside Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos, the segment was set to be a routine chat about Jackson's career highs, his enduring charisma, and perhaps a few laughs over his famous one-liners. But what unfolded instead was a masterclass in tension, a clash of egos that escalated from subtle jabs to outright confrontation, culminating in Jackson's dramatic exit that has since gone viral, amassing millions of views and sparking endless debates across social media platforms. As we dive deep into this incident, we'll explore not just the what and how, but the why, delving into the personalities involved, the undercurrents of celebrity interviews, and the broader implications for morning show etiquette and journalistic integrity. Samuel L. Jackson, at 77 years young, remains a force of nature in Hollywood, with over 150 films under his belt, earning him the record for the most credits in the Guinness Book of World Records. His no-nonsense attitude, often delivered with that signature gravelly voice and piercing stare, has made him a fan favorite, but it's also what led to this unforgettable showdown. With the pleasantries out of the way, Michael Strahan leaned forward in his chair, his broad shoulders filling the frame as he flashed that million-dollar smile. But there was a glint in his eye that hinted at something sharper. "Sam, you've built this incredible legacy playing these tough-as-nails characters. Nick Fury, Jules Winfield, the guy who doesn't take crap from anyone. But let's get real for a second. In Hollywood, behind the scenes, how much of that swagger is just an act? We've heard stories about diva behavior on sets, delays, demands. Is the real Samuel L. Jackson as demanding as the roles you portray?" The question hung in the air like a challenge, slicing through the promotional fluff with the precision of a linebacker sacking a quarterback. Jackson's expression shifted almost imperceptibly, a slight narrowing of those legendary eyes, a pause that stretched just long enough to make the crew hold their breath. The audience, sensing the shift, leaned in collectively, the room's energy crackling with anticipation. This wasn't the softball query about box office numbers or co-star anecdotes that Jackson had fielded a dozen times that week. This was a loaded gun, disguised as casual curiosity, probing at the underbelly of celebrity myth-making. Strahan, ever the athlete, seemed to relish the play, his body language open yet probing, as if daring Jackson to dodge or swing back. Robin Roberts, ever the diplomat, tried to interject with a light laugh, Michael always going for the jugular. But the damage was done. The conversation had veered into treacherous waters. Jackson, master of the monologue, responded not with defensiveness, but with a measured intensity that commanded silence. "Michael, I've been in this game longer than you've been calling plays on the field. Swagger? It's not an act. It's survival. Hollywood chews up and spits out anyone who doesn't demand respect. Black actors especially." The tipping point arrived faster than anyone anticipated, a mere 45 seconds after the initial barb, when Strahan, perhaps sensing vulnerability or emboldened by the live adrenaline, escalated with a personal zinger that crossed the invisible line. "Come on, Sam. Let's cut the righteous indignation. We all know the stories. Tantrums on the set of The Avengers, holding up production over script changes. If you can't handle a little scrutiny here, how do you expect audiences to buy you as this unbreakable hero on screen?" The words sliced through the air, laced with a smirk that read as dismissive, even mocking, to Jackson and millions watching. The actor's face hardened, that iconic jawline setting like concrete, as he absorbed the hit not with rage, but with a cold fury that chilled the room. For a split second, time froze, the audience's gasps audible, Robert's hand fluttering toward her earpiece for producer guidance, Stephanopoulos' eyes widening in silent alarm. Jackson, ever the professional forged in the fires of countless red carpets and press junkets, could have laughed it off, pivoted to a quip, or even stormed out in theatrical flair. But instead, he chose dignity wrapped in defiance, rising slowly from his seat with the grace of a panther uncoiling. Unhooking his microphone with deliberate calm, he fixed Strahan with a stare that could melt steel, his voice a low rumble that carried the authority of a man who stared down villains on screen and off. Real journalists don't ambush their guests with tabloid trash. Real professionals know the difference between tough questions and straight-up disrespect. You want to talk tantrums? Look in the mirror, Michael. Sitting there playing gotcha like it's Sunday football. The studio fell into a hush so profound you could hear the hum of the lights overhead, the weight of his words settling like fallout from a detonation. As the commercial break stretched into what felt like an eternity for the GMA team, the studio transformed into a whirlwind of hushed urgency. Stagehands darting about, adjusting mics and lights as if rearranging the furniture could erase the elephantine awkwardness left in Jackson's wake. Robin Roberts, the steady heartbeat of the show with her survivor spirit and warm demeanor, took the reins upon return, her face a mask of composed empathy as she addressed the camera directly. Folks, we're back after what can only be described as an intense conversation. Samuel L. Jackson is a trailblazer, and we appreciate his candor today. Let's shift gears to brighter news. But the damage was irreparable. Strahan, benched by producers mid-segment, slouched silently in his chair, his usual charisma dimmed to a sullen glow, arms folded like a petulant child sidelined from the game. Whispers from insiders reveal that showrunners huddled in a frantic side room, debating whether to issue an on-air apology or spin it as passionate discourse, ultimately opting for damage control that prioritized Jackson's dignity over Strahan's pride. Offset, Jackson's team was already in motion, his publicist releasing a succinct statement. Samuel values respectful dialogue and won't participate in gotcha journalism. He's focused on Shadow Strike and the stories that matter. Meanwhile, Strahan's camp remained tight-lipped, though leaks suggested internal tensions had been simmering, with some blaming the host's overzealous prep notes for steering into personal territory. The audience, still seated and shell-shocked, filtered out with a mix of awe and discomfort, many stopping crew members for details. Did that really just happen? Yes, it did, and the ripple effects were instantaneous. Within minutes of the broadcast ending, in the 48 hours following the explosive GMA clash, the internet became a coliseum of opinions, with Samuel L. Jackson emerging not as the villain some feared, but as a gladiator hailed for his unyielding integrity. Social media timelines overflowed with user-generated content, edits splicing Jackson's exit with epic movie walk-offs, from Shaft striding into the sunset to Fury commandeering a helicarrier. Reaction videos from everyday fans tearing up at his measured takedown of disrespect. Even AI-generated deepfakes imagining alternate endings where Jackson drops an unbleeped profanity that crashes the network. The discourse deepened quickly, with Black Twitter leading a chorus on systemic biases in media. How questions to white stars often skim the surface of accolades, while actors of color face interrogations laced with skepticism. Influencers like Issa Rae amplified this, tweeting, "Sam didn't walk out, he walked up. For all of us who've been cornered in rooms full of allies." Support poured in from unlikely quarters too. NFL legends like Tom Brady, Strahan's former rival, subtly shaded the host with an IG story reposting Jackson's film trailer captioned, "Real heroes know when to exit stage." Mainstream outlets jumped aboard. CNN ran a panel on the death of the friendly interview, featuring journalists debating Strahan's tactics as relics of shock jock eras, while the New York Times penned a profile on Jackson's quiet revolution, tracing his career arc from stage actor in the 70s to cultural lightning rod. Box office projections for Shadow Strike skyrocketed 25%, theaters reporting pre-sale surges as audiences clamored to back the man who wouldn't bend. Strahan, thrust into the hot seat, broke his silence on his personal X account late that evening. "Respect to Sam. He's a GOAT. Interviews get heated. That's TV. No hard feelings, but let's talk real issues next time."